Hello, Flosstube. It is time for my April recap. If you are new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. I'm going to attempt to do this without my glasses because the glare from my ring light on my newer glasses is just horrible. So we'll try. I think I can read what I've written. You will find on my channel both cross stitch videos and paper crafting videos. So if it's Flosstube, it's cross stitch. That's what we're doing today. If it says Facebook Live or Paper Pumpkin, then that's my card making videos. So, excuse me, and I don't have any water with me. So hopefully we won't get a tickly throat. All right. I'm just gonna jump right in. I worked on, I think it's 9 projects. Yes, 9 projects, total of 10,835 stitches for the month of April. I have my notes over here, is why I keep looking over there. And I stitched 28 out of 30 days, so that's pretty good. I had one day, my niece got married, and so I didn't stitch any on that day, and I can't remember what the other day was. Probably I was at a retreat, a card making retreat. So we're gonna jump right in. These first projects I'm going to show you are just ones that I work on every month. They're not a wheel spin or anything. They're just things I need to get done. So the first one is a burst sampler for my granddaughter. And it is all done except there's some back stitch. I think it's in here. And then I need to do her information. This is on a 32 count Mia Moore from Fortnite Fabrics, and they're not dyeing fabric anymore. And it's one I got off of Etsy from Inna Stitches, I-N-N-A. It did not provide an alphabet with it, so I've been looking around online, so I've got to chart that out to put her name and birth date on there, and the little bit of back stitching, and then that one will be done. She was born in November, so I do need to get this done. All right, I am going to put these back in their bags. I think I have unzipped everything, so I don't think you'll have to listen to any zippers. Okay, next is my Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along for 2026. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. I'm doing the Wise and the Brave. And I did, oh, I forgot to tell you, on the burst sampler, I did 598 stitches for the month. So here's where I am. This is on 28 count, easy count, 1/1 full cross. And I did 3,059 stitches on it this month. So it is currently at 12,641 stitches out of 88,800, and that is 14.24%. So I had hoped to have 2 pages done by the end of April, which would have been about there, I think. So I didn't quite get that done, so I'm going to have to ramp it up a little bit because I would like to get 6 pages done this year so I can get the rest of the stitch along charts. All right. Next one, and these aren't, well, I guess they're in the order of how many stitches I did total. All right, so this is a conglomeration of things. I'm going to, sorry, there might be a little bit of crinkling. I didn't think to get this picture out before I started. I'm going to the Silver Needle in Tulsa in a couple weeks for the Tiny Modernist class they're doing, and this is what we're making. So we got all of the materials we needed to stitch all of these. And so I've been working on that frantically so that I can at least have some of it done while we're learning how to finish it. So I'll show you what I have done, but I've done all of the drum now, except for some back stitch around it. I've done this house, this first house, and next I'm going to work on the flamingos. So my friend and I are doing this together. We figured if we had the drum done, one house and at least one flamingo, then we would have what we needed to learn how to finish. And if we had to do the other houses by ourselves, we could. All right, let's get all this stuff out of here. So let me show you the ones I've finished so far. And this, they gave us a different fabric than what Tiny Modernist had said. Yeah, they did affogato. She had said affogato from Fiber on a Whim, but let's see. I think they tell me, sorry, probably more crinkling. They did 32 count star sapphire. So that's what this fabric is. All right. I don't want to lose any of this. I'm going to just slip it back in here real quick. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so this is the first one I finished. So this is House Beach Hut. I think they're called Beach Hut #1. So they're not real big. I don't know that I'll be able to get all of them done beforehand. And I had started the next one because I was traveling last weekend, and I thought, well, if I finish the other stuff, I didn't want to try and measure over or count over that much while we were in the car. All right, where's the other one? Oh, it's here. This is the second one I did. This is the drum. So, whoops, that's the back side of the drum. Let's show you the pretty side. It's so cute. So I'm just working on, you're supposed to back stitch all the way around it. And I don't know if we're going to use that to line something up. We're only back stitching with one strand. And usually if you're using it to sew something together, you use 2 strands, but we couldn't figure out what we would be sewing together. So I'm doing 1 strand like it said in the directions. And then this is the drum top that I just finished last night. I forgot to say at the beginning, this is May 1st. So I will start on a flamingo next. So see if I can get a flamingo done. All right, let me get all this back in here. So I'll have it when I work on it again. And I'll talk about that a little bit in plans. Okay, it doesn't want to go back in there. Goodness gracious. There we go. All right. Next is Woman in a Field of Flowers. So I'm using this. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I'm using this for the Stitch is So Beautiful stitch along that they do every month. So this is another one that's on 28 count, easy count. So this is where I am on this one. And I did 1,533 stitches. So I'm just been working down this diagonal, mostly up in the sky area. And when I get down into here, it gets kind of confetti. So it takes a little bit longer to get my 250 stitches. So I have to do 250 stitches a week because I'm doing full cross and post it on Facebook. And then they have a free chart that they give away pretty much every month. I have not seen the one from May yet. Okay, now we're getting into the wheel spin. So I have a wheel. What I've done, I guess every month this year so far, this month will be different, but we'll talk about that in plans, is I have a wheel and I spin the wheel and then I work at least 500 stitches on that until I get 500 stitches, and then I spin the wheel again. Oh, this one got really wrinkled. So this is Season's Dreams Spring. This is from Barbara Anna, and this is on, I think it's 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I'll put a picture in of what it will look like when it's done. It's close. And I did 691 stitches on this one. Her charts are so vibrant and fun to stitch. I love Barbara Anna's. And I bought the, I think it's called Owl Vibe Stitch Along. I don't know when I'll start it, but it was too cute. I had to get it. All right, and then another spin was monthly minis. So these are from Primrose Cottage. This is the whole series, and I have 11 of them done. I think I still have to do the February one. I need to go verify because I have Yeah, I just need to verify that that's the last one. But what I did this month was the March one. And it was a start and a finish. And it is on 32 count Valor from Picture This Plus. So nice green. And this one was 568 stitches. And that's how many there are on the chart because it was a new start and a finish. All right, next on my wheel, or next that I'm going to show you, is Nature's Journey. And this is in, I'll put a picture in of what the whole thing looks like. This was in the Just Cross Stitch magazines last year. So it was one season each issue. So I was working on the spring season. So this is where I am. I am doing this on vellum. Picture This Plus vellum, 32 count, 2/2 full cross. So I did this flower, the snail, and these leaves and these flowers. Now I will tell you the overlap on this. Let me see if I can show you without showing you much of the pattern. The overlap is incorrect for the winter. And I had to redo that one flower. Yeah, here we go. I'm just going to show you a little corner. So this flower going down, it shows you only 4 overlaps, but it's actually 8. So I could not, when I was going to the other flowers next to it, I'm like, this does not match up at all. And it's because the shading on the winter one is incorrect. They should have shaded, again, I don't want to show you much, but they should have shaded 8 rows instead of 4. So if you're working on this, just be aware of that. It took me a while to, and then I was worried that all of this in the middle was wrong, but I don't think it is. I think it's okay. So that took me a little bit longer to get the stitches done on it because of that. I can't remember if I told you 554. That's how many I did total. All right. And then the next thing, or the next one I'm going to show you, is the monthly Quakers from, what is this? From the Heart Needle Art. So I've been working on the September one, just because that was the one I had started. And I did 533 stitches. This is on 32 count Platinum from Witchelt. So I was working on this motif up here and got to start a little bit there. So it's getting there. There's a pretty big one on the side here. This one on the side is still to do. And then a little bit down here, but it's getting close. I don't know when it will come back out again either. And then the last wheel spin was, I had on my wheel spin my full coverage wheel. So then I have a different wheel with full coverage, and it spun Winter Montage. So I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I did 497 stitches. I was at a good stopping point, and I decided I was not going to worry about getting to exactly 500. So this is how much I have done on this one. And this one, I forgot to tell you about Woman in the Field. I have 1,266 stitches out of 150,945 for 0.84%. So still a long ways to go on that one. Woman in a Field of Flowers, I forgot to tell you her percentage. I have 8,906 stitches done on her out of 160,000. So she's 5.57%. Okay. That is everything that I stitched on this month. I'm going to pause and switch out so I can talk about my plans. Okay, I'm back. So I couldn't decide whether to stick with my normal wheel spins for May or do something different. I was not going to start 15 or 26 or however many new projects. That's how what do they call it? Mania, Stitch Mania, whatever. That's how it started, is you started a new project. I have so many now, and I have like 4 planned starts. I'm like, I'm not doing that many starts. So I decided to do Mira May. So I have a wheel with my Miras on there. The only one I think that I left off was Christmas in London, just because I didn't want to work on a Christmas piece. That's the only reason. So I have all my Miras on a wheel, and I'll show you all of them. I have a bunch of them started. I think it's 14 on this wheel. And so I'll spin it, stitch 500 stitches on that one, spin again, stitch 500 on the next one. And the thing that made me decide for sure to do this was Whip Warriors, that Facebook group, is doing a Mania event, and one of the options they were just giving, you know, possibilities, and they said, yeah, Mira May or MiraMaynia or whatever was one of them. So I thought, I'm gonna do that because I have some of these that I haven't worked on years, and so I would like to get some stitches in. And as I'm doing this, I think what I will continue doing with my wheel after this, instead of just putting on my wheel, spin the Mira wheel, I'll pick one Mira that I want to work on that month, instead of just letting it randomly pick, and then work on that one for however many months until I'm tired of working on it. So these are in no particular order. Let me turn my page here so I can make sure I get them all. Okay. First one I'm going to show you is Dressmaker's Daughter. So this is what this one will look like when it's finished. This was one I originally thought I was going to try and get done by the end of this year or by this fall, because my friend and I were hoping to go to the Shepherd's Bush retreat and take a trip to, oh my goodness, her name has left me, the framer that does such beautiful work. You guys are probably yelling at me. Anyway, I'd hoped to have this done to take to that. Well, luckily, we really wanted to go to that retreat, but they didn't have it this year, so I kind of didn't worry about focusing on it as much. But I do want to still continue to work on it so that when they do have that retreat, I will have this done. So sorry for the hanging thread, but this is, you can't see everything I have done. So autumn, summer is done. Sorry, let me adjust this a little bit. Summer is done except for beads. And then spring is what I have been working on. So I would like to get spring done before fall, and then I can work on the autumn one in the fall. So that is one of them. Now, I don't know, like in April, how many did I get through? Like 6 wheel spins? 5 wheel spins. So hopefully I'll get through more than that for Mira May. We'll see. All right, so that's Dressmaker's Daughter. Oh, it's on the called for fabric. I think it's like chocolate, milk chocolate, 32 count milk chocolate. So it's on the called for. All right. And I have all the beads. You can hear them rattling for that one. All right. Next is Wherefore Art Thou? This was a mystery. So I'll have to put a picture in of what it's going to look like. Years ago, when did I start this? February of 2016. And it is on 32 count toasted almond from Hand Dyed by Steph. And this is my starting point for that one. And so I did it when it was the mystery stitch along, and I'm doing it with all the over dyed floss, and I got this special, there's a special, you'll see in the picture, a special bead that she's holding on to. So I have that. It's beautiful. Again, one that I would love to finish someday. All right. Next is At the Met. have so many, they don't all fit in a tub. This is at the Met. This is a very striking one. And am I doing it? What am I doing it on? I don't remember. Get its little card out. I'm going to try and make sure they all have cards too as I go through them. It is on 32 count Melody, also hand dyed by Stephanie. Here, I'm going to hold up back so you can maybe see. I mean, it's just beautiful. And I don't have much done on this. I have worked on it this year, I think, for another, maybe it was this year or end of last year. That's my starting point. The colors in this are so pretty. And I will tell you which one I've spun for today, so I know which one I'm working on today. So I'll tell you that too. I'll just tell you when we get to it. I'm babysitting this afternoon, my grandsons, so it'll probably be this evening before I get to any stitching. All right, next is January Garnet Fairy. No, she has a card. I have all her beads too. Oh, she's on a, that's what she's going to look like. She's on a fabric flare. Lagoon, it's called Lagoon. And this is what she looks like. So it's a real pretty, like cloudy blue. But those, I'd seen somebody else do it on blue, I think, and I just thought the colors looked so pretty on blue. So that is my starting point with her. I need to find a bigger bag for her. With all her beads, she barely fits in this bag. All right. Next is Lady of the Flag. And I actually had this pattern from when it first came out. I pretty much buy almost all of her patterns when they come out, so I have all the old ones. And this is on 30 count Constitution from Primitive Hair. And I think I'm gonna do the green conversion. That's the threads I've pulled, so it looks more like the Statue of Liberty right now. But I've just gotten part of the flag. That's all I've done. So here's what that linen looks like. And I purposely started there so I could put it where I wanted it on the fabric. So this one I'll probably frame with a bigger margin around it. And I have another piece of that to do Queen of Freedom on. Another piece of this fabric to do Queen of Freedom on Sunday. All right. Next is Maidens of the Seasons. This is one I really hope gets called, and it'll probably be the one that I pick to work on. It's probably my oldest Mirabilia. So there's two of them. This is the first one. This is spring. Maybe it's, I'm not sure. Let me pull the other one out. Spring and summer. So, okay, so this is spring and summer. Sorry. And then the other one, that summer just almost looked autumn colored. That's why I was hesitating. No, this is definitely autumn. And this is autumn and winter. But so far, I just have spring and summer. I'm going to do them on two pieces of fabric, but then maybe frame them together. At least that was my initial plan years and years ago. Let's see. When did I start these? Do I even have it? Nope. It was so long ago that it's not even written down when I started them. Or this one. So this is where I am on this one. And this one did come out, I think it was last year. I don't think it's come out this year yet. But I really hope I hope that one gets called so I can work on it some. There's so many pretty Miras, and there's more I want to stitch. All right, Portrait of Veronica. Oh, goodness. This one I haven't worked on in years, I don't think. And I don't think it has. No. Oh, it does have a start date. So this is Portrait of Veronica. Look at that dress. Just beautiful. This is on 32 count Winter Wishes from Hand Dyed by Steph. And I started it February of 2017. And I think it goes this way. I haven't even gotten into any of the dark green on it. It's pretty accurate for the fabric. That one would be fun to work on too. I haven't worked on it in years. All right. I'll start putting them back in, I think. Yep. All right, next one is red. So this is what she's going to look like. And I am doing the called for red color. Some people have done, I think I've seen a blue and maybe a purple conversion, and they're beautiful too, but I like the red. This is on 32 count Silver Mist. I wonder which way this goes. Maybe this way. And this is the starting point on this one. And I started this one January of 2015. And this is the one that was called to work on today. So hopefully tonight, sometime tonight, I will get a chance to get some work done on her. And hopefully I'll get 500 stitches done soon enough, but sooner than I had on the last wheel spins. All right, next is Red Lady Pirate. Let's see if she has, yeah. I don't have when I started her. This is what she's going to look like. And she is on Fairies Storm, 32 count Fairies Storm from Sunny Dyes, and I don't think they dye anymore. Like I said, I've had this for a long time. She doesn't even have a start date on it, so it's been a long time ago. Let me show you. That's the fabric, and this is where I'll be starting on her. So I've probably got more done on her than a lot of the others. And she has some Karen Water Lily, some silks in her. I'm trying to fold them a little bit differently so they don't get too creased, but right. And then after Red Lady Pirate, Royal Games 1. So there are 2 of these. These are the playing card ones. I'll show you both charts, but I've only started on the first one. Oh, that's the second one. All right, so this is Royal Games 1. This is the one I've started on. So it's the hearts and spades. And then Royal Games 2 is the diamonds and the clubs. Yikes. If you heard that, that was just a bird hitting my window. All right, let me find the fabric that actually has stitching on it. Here it is. And these are just on I think it's a 32 count white Jobelin. So it's an even weave. And this is where I'll be starting from with her. think I worked in her sleeve last time. This came out, I think it was last year it came out too. All right. Next is Siren and the Shipwreck. This one has a lot of beads on her. So that's what she will look like. But there's so many beads in this. Whatever she's holding, crystal light chandelier, I don't know. And I think this is on the called for. Let me see if I have a, yeah. Yes, 32 count Sea Lily from Witchelt. And this is where she will be starting from. So I worked up in her body, I think, last time. And I started her May of 2013. So yeah, some of these need to get some work so they can get finished. All right, almost there. Sleeping Princess is next. All right. This is what she will look like. She's a big one. And she is on 32 count Beach Walk, which is the called for. She doesn't have a lot done. That's where, yeah, it's not showing up quite as green as it is, but that's where she'll be starting from. I started her January of 2015. All right. Two more. The next one is Siren Seas, I think. Siren Song Mermaid. So she's a little, oh, she's a Nora Corbett. She should not be in here. She was on this type of pattern, so I thought she was a Mira. And she's not in here, so we'll just ignore her. I'll take her off my wheel. All right, make sure. Oh, and the last one was Luna, and she's also Nora Corbett. I had taken them off the wheel because I thought they were Nora Corbett. And then when I was digging through everything again, because it was on this type of pattern, because Nora's are now on a full size. Okay, so never mind. I have 12 mirrors. So we will see how many of those I can get through. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, a lot of these I haven't worked on for a while, so I'm excited to get to work on them. All right, a few more plans. These are some new starts that I want to do, like I need any more. This one, I don't have a color photo, and I could not find this on Etsy anymore, but this is one I want to do for my husband. This is, I have asked you thrice now for a towel. This is from Schitt's Creek. So this is the shop on Etsy, and that shop is still there, but this pattern is not there. And I think the words are in a different color. Let's see, what did I pick out? R&R 32 count Barb's blend. So yeah, it's just 3 colors. It's just black, yellow, and white. So, and I don't think it would, well, I don't know. The hair will take a little while. That's a lot of stitching. But I thought I would take it with me when I go to Tulsa, because I can work on it there without my husband seeing. So that's one new start I want to do. And then this one is a planned new start with my friend that we're going to Tulsa together. Whew. So this is one of the new Primrose Cottage Beach. And I want to do them all eventually, but this is the one we decided to do together. So we're going to start it together while we're in Tulsa. And I got 32 count lamb's wool to to do it on. Here's some of the threads. The rest of them are in floss away bags, so it's kind of hard to see. Whoops. But they're really pretty colors. And they seem to not want to stay in my hand. So that'll be fun. We'll start that together. And then I did buy that's what was rattling so much, the seahorse zipper pull and the turtle. Oh, he's all wrapped up. Well, the turtle needle mindle, you'll see it when I work on it because he's all wrapped up. So that will be fun to start on together. And then this, we signed up for the spring mingle and the hands-on design class. So this is Do Dragons Fly. And we're, you know, if you want to try and finish it along with Kathy, then you needed to have it stitched by then. Well, with the Tiny Modernist, there's no way we're going to get that done. And besides, I have my friend's fabric. So, but I bought, so the called for is, I think, a touch of pink. Yes, touch of pink linen. And you can't find that anywhere. It's sold out everywhere. So my shop had a small piece that I could compare. And so I had a couple of fabrics that I had in my stash that I thought might work, but they were more pink. The touch of pink almost has a little salmon to it. And so the ladies found this. This is R&R Maria's blend. So I think it will, let me pull the floss, see if I can actually hold them up. Let me open it up a little bit. So I think this will work. So I went ahead and got, for both of us, pieces of this for it. This is the only one that's close, but I think it's dark enough. I think it will still show up. So maybe we'll start that while we're together in a couple of weeks. And then the last thing that I want to start soon, and I'll have to put a picture in of what we have so far. And I haven't even decided on my fabric. I do have all the floss now, but this is, I think it's called, sorry for the crinkling, Midnight at the Museum. Something like that, Midnight. It's the new Lola Crow Stitch Along. And she has released the frame for it now. And there's a blue whale skeleton at the top. So that was last Friday when I was traveling. But I saw on Be Stitch Me on Facebook, she had listed 3 of her fabrics that she thought would work for the design based on what Anne had said from Lola Crow and comparable to what the called for was. The call for was a 36 count, and she said the 32 count version of that was not going to work. So I had all 3 of the Be Stitch Me's, and I'm sorry for the crinkling, and I'm not going to take them out because I'll be even more crinkling. But she suggested Catacombs was one of them, which I really like. Or Lunar, which is just a nice gray. And I think that Annie said not to use anything with too much modeling. I'll have to go back and look at what she said about the fabric. And then this one is Gray Magic. So it's a little deeper than the Lunar. Or Lunar, yeah. So one of those, I'll use one of those. I've got all the floss now, like I said, so I just kind of need to do a floss toss and see which one I want. Okay, that's all the plans. I do have, oh, excuse me, it's way over there on my table. I do have some haul. If I can get it, there we go. I'm going to show you these 2 before they just fall all over the place. I did get a couple of needle minders. So this one I'm going to use for all my 4th of July stitching when I start it, probably next month. And I couldn't resist this one. I have been a Chiefs fan my whole life. I grew up in Kansas. And so when they had the Swift and Travis Kelce's number, I had to get it. It was just too cute. All right. And I'm still picking up some market stuff that I hadn't picked up because I couldn't get it all at once. So I got Hey Peter from Hands On Design. And Quaker Snippets 3 from With Thy Needle, Brenda Gervais. It's really sunny. Well, it's not really sunny, but sunny enough that it's glaring quite a bit. And then I'm on an automatic, you know, from Silver Needle and Tulsa for this. So this is the skunk. This is number 10. So we have 2 more. And then I did buy the Cottage Garden. This was the, what do they call it? Stitch the Rainbow. So I got the threads. They are so vibrant and pretty. And a lot of the patterns were ocean, and I love ocean stuff. So I got this one. This is Midnight Ocean from Tiny Modernist. You can tell the colors in these are gorgeous. Yeah, I thought I got another one. This is Anchored Tales from Stitchy Prose. And from Counting Puddles, Bubble Seahorse. Isn't he cute? And there's some others I'll probably get at some point, but I just started with those. This was another market release, Coneflower Chorus from the Blue Flower. I love her stuff. This uses Faldani, but I may have to see if I may just do the DMC. This is Stitchy Princess, and I've bought some from her on Etsy, but my shop actually had this in print. It's Robins in Winter. And then a new Erin Elizabeth. This is, I don't know if it's new actually. No, it's not new, but it was new to me. Maybe it was on sale. French Tier. Isn't that fun? Oh, I forgot to take this out of its package. This is the Fabric of the Month from Bestitch Me for April. And I do the neutrals. So this is 32 count, and I do 32 count Belfast. Lightly salted, not roasted. So it's a nice, it's kind of an orangey yellow, peachy. And then I got One Flag, One Land from With Thy Needle, Brenda Gervais. And then I picked up a piece of Heroic to do it on. I love Heroic for patriotic stitches. And then this was a freebie from Erica Michaels, the America Berry. So I picked up the fabric for it. It's a 32 count corn silk, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. All right. And then I did get the latest issue of Just Cross Stitch. I think that's it. That was a lot this time. I had a lot of plans to share. So we'll see how many mirrors I get to work on this month. I hope I get to go through quite a few of them. And I will see you 1st of June or around there to show you what I worked on. All right. Thanks for joining me. Bye.